Hold on.
Disappeared again.
Okay, wait, I'm streaming. What happened? I'm live.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay. I don't even have art open yet. Oh my god, I don't even have art. I don't even have my art open yet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna change this title actually. I don't really like this title. Working on videos. It's gonna be the same as the description. Well, no, I guess we'll just, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. How is that? Alright. What am I gonna work on? This one or this one? This one or this one? I'm gonna work on this one on the stream. Alright. Hello. Stream is back. Let me get this angle fixed. Where can we die over here? You know, I don't know. It's sad because a lot of characters have really bad deaths. I mean, I would say his is up there. Car crash. It's pretty brutal. I would say his or Perry's is pretty bad, for sure. Yeah, it's always a hard one to animate because it's always really sad. Oh my gosh, I'm not even on the right screen yet. Oh my gosh. There we go. But yeah, for sure Isaac had a pretty bad death. Oh, the Rain video. I actually really think Rain was fitting for Isaac too because there's a lot of things I plan ahead, and that may even include chapter/episode titles. And I really wanted Isaac's title of like an episode about him and his life and kind of like a backstory past episode/chapter, whatever it ends up becoming, whether it's a comic or a TV show or something one day, I don't know. But whatever it ends up like coming out on, even on YouTube or something, I definitely want his episode to be titled When It Rains. And there's a couple of different reasons, but I really like that, and I picked out that title a long time ago. And so, yeah, anything to do with rain, I always like to include Isaac in. So I thought that song, it's kind of a song, it's not really a song, it's more of like, I don't know, he's not really singing, he's just kind of talking over music. I don't know, I guess it's considered a song. Yes. Yeah, that's how Perry died, was a car accident as well. So her and Isaac kind of share a little bit of, like a weird sort of morbid, like, oh man, I went through the same thing sort of, you know, like they almost relate on it and kind of like are a little bit, close in that regard. And unfortunately car accidents are pretty common, so it's not exactly unlikely for two characters in a story to have the same sort of death. But yeah, unfortunately Perry's was also a car accident. Hers was pretty bad as well. And the reason she drove off the cliff, I'm actually gonna hint at in a couple of my videos. So I will tell it soon, but it'll be like in one of my videos. I really like the 6 animation with all like the 6 queens, and I really like the Lose Your Head animatic. So I'm thinking about, or like the Lose Your Head song, I'm thinking about making an animatic about that song. But I have seen a lot of animatics about that song, and it's my favorite in the series. I really like it. It's a really good one. Man, I just really can't draw hands. I just really can't. I just really can't do them. Oh my gosh, it's my sketch too. I'm gonna fix some things on the sketch. But mostly I need to fix this arm because it's really not good. It's really not good. Could have been, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's also a really bad thing. A lot of people text and drive. I've even texted and drive. It's really bad. Don't do it. Really horrible. Um, you're not focused, and when you're driving a big machine like that, you have to have focus. It's a miracle that there's honestly not more deaths from it, because you're so distracted when you do stuff like that. But I think we've all done it, and that's kind of the sad thing. It's become a lot more normalized. It's like, well, it's just a few seconds, but even a few seconds of a bad decision can change your life forever. It could even end it, so you never want to text and drive. I'm sure whatever it is, it could wait. That's how I feel, but I've texted and driven before too. It's a really bad habit. Gotta get out of it. Yeah. I will probably do a little bit more about Perry's backstory as well. Like I said, with the Lose Your Head animac, I really like that one. There's a couple other songs. Cool Kids by, I think, Echo Smith is what it's called. I really like that song for Perry and Chloe. But I do need to make more, videos specifically about Perry herself, because I make a lot of videos with Perry and Chloe, and while I love them together, absolutely, they're one of my favorite couples to write about, I definitely want to have Perry have her own spotlight, and same thing with Chloe. Chloe needs her own spotlight. She had her Wonderland animatic, but Chloe hasn't had the spotlight in a while, and neither is Perry, like her own spotlight, so I definitely want to give them both their own videos. Yeah, it essentially operates from a giant control room. I kind of envision it, here, I can even, you know what, this is kind of like a really chill drawing stream. I'm just kind of working on, like, work in progresses and stuff. But if I can, let me see if I can kind of illustrate what I kind of imagine it being like. So there's, like, a seat here. And this is the office. This is the control room. So, like, there's, like, an office seat or whatever. What does it look like from the back? I don't know. Like, Okay, so here's an office seat. And someone, likely Derthier, because he's the one that usually operates, like, the lasers and does, like, runs tests on them and stuff, he'll be running from here. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Sorry. Quick perspective drawing. Oh, it's hard. Okay, my brain hurts. I'm really bad at stuff like this. Okay, it's okay. But yeah, so it's like a control panel. It's got, like, all these, like, little buttons and doohickeys and got, like, text on it. This is kind of how I'm imagining. This is the control areas for the control area or room. This is how I imagine it in my head. So Derthier would be over here manning the lasers in the control room. And then the lasers are in a separate part of the in each headquarters. There's a set of lasers, and they each are in, like, a it's hard to explain, like, an open kind of roof area outside, but the roof kind of domes over. It's on the tip of my tongue what I'm thinking about, that actually, like, in real life, like a Stromberg's used, sort of like a room like that with a big dome, and you can press a button and the whole, like, thing opens up, and the lasers will be pointing at the sky, because that's how they test it. They shoot things in the sky, and the lasers don't go far enough to, like, really do any damage, or they're not strong enough to do any damage, or I guess a laser technically goes, like, infinite, right? I should probably learn more about that. I'm not big on physics, but I will learn more about how lasers work as my story goes along, of course, because that's kind of important if it's a big aspect of my story. But from what I gathered, their lasers right now are just not they're not powerful enough to do anything. It's kind of like just shooting a laser pointer in the sky at times. Which is why in the story they're at the breaking point where they're just about to, like, create something, and that's when, the main characters start to kind of catch on that something's not right. Something keeps changing, the sky keeps looking weird, and it's because they're actually getting somewhere with the laser. And when they shoot in the sky, it actually affects the sky, so you'll definitely see that. But yeah, this is just, like, a little, like, diagram that I like to use for the control area. Oh, and then I could just draw what I'm imagining for the dome area, like it's just an outdoor, it's like connected to the building, so it's, like, kind of, like, connected to the building. This is just the building. This is just, like, okay, it looks like a hamburger, but you know what I mean, right? And then the roof, like, opens up. So this is the building. Just ignore the really bad perspective. And then it, like, connects and it, like, opens up. Like, there's, like, a door probably, like, right here. It opens up because it's on a higher no, actually, wait, that wouldn't make any sense. Let's put that on the bottom floor. That would actually make a lot more sense. And then here you go, like connects and stuff like that. Okay, so that would be where the dome would be. From the ceiling as it points to the bed. I'm trying to visualize that. I'm having a hard time visualizing today. I didn't even have my music open. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, why I wanted to put it outside was because they want to test it on the sky. Because they, you know, if they're trying to get rid of the afterlife, they have to go for the wormhole. And so a big part of that would be, you know, going for the sky. And so that's kind of why I always imagined it to be outside. But yeah, I haven't had a visual for it yet. So it's, you know, I'm sure like with a lot of things, you kind of just like make your own like visualizations. Like even for me, like when I think of a character, I'll start drawing them and realize that it wasn't even really the same character that I visualized, but it's sort of there, you know, because, you know, visualization can only go so far. And like you can only, like with my artistic skills right now, like I can only create so much before I'm like, man, like my imagination is too wild for this. And my art skills are not like up to date with my imagination, so I'm a little behind. So yeah, but this is just a really rough outlook of what I'm planning. There's like a couple of like bigger lasers that they use mainly for testing. Then there's some smaller ones that they can just basically, like inside the room, they're all lined up ready to go. So like to test on other ghosts that either did something bad or, you know, like I said, they don't like to punish people like that, but if you did something really bad to the, you know, organization, they may test you. But most of the time it's never like some people like volunteer and then don't realize how actually bad it is. And because they volunteered, they kind of feel like, oh, well, you know, we can get away with doing worse things to you because you volunteered, you know, kind of a messed up sort of way of in their eyes rationalizing it, you know. So yeah, like I said, it's really hard because there's a lot of things I want to show, and I'm about to talk about them. Some of this in my lore video coming up. I'm almost done with the script. I'm gonna go over and add a couple things that I missed. But yeah, there's like, you know, like I would assume like laser machines right here. You know, this is like pointing at you, and they kind of just line them up. And there's like, you know, separate dividers, and like I said, really, really rough visualization stuff. I'm gonna go over this more in the lore videos. I'm gonna make more than one, so I may not get to the, I may not get to everything that I want to get to in one video, because I think that would be like an hour-long video, and I don't know if I can do that. But the first lore video is only going to be like maybe 5 minutes or so. It's going to be just a brief rundown, because I also don't want to overexert everyone with too much information, because it could be a lot to have at once, you know. So for the most part, it'll just be sort of a small video, kind of just going over the basics. Yeah, I'm planning on, there's a lot of animax I want to make with the lasers, and I haven't really decided when I want to, make those animax into motion. I have a lot of other things planned, and then I kind of tend to go for the more story-heavy animatics, you know, later on. But some things I like to make are funny, you know, some of them are more story-heavy than others, and some of them are just really, I keep losing my train of thought. Some of them are just more like story heavy than others, and so those take a lot more planning, because I also want to make sure they're accurate to the lore, accurate to the story, and stuff like that. I really cannot get this arm right now. I don't know why. It's like my brain's imploding. My finals are coming up, and I've been studying, and my brain torn to mush from, I think, the studying. Even though I probably should be doing more, but you know, anyways, it looks so bad. Rose would look like this. Don't mind me, I'm just turning to Kermit the Frog. Oh my goodness. I do have a short I wanted to upload. There was a couple things I wanted to change on it, and so I'm like pushing a couple of my shorts off because I was like, man, like they're not really, they're finished, but there's a couple like mistakes I made, and I kind of started looking at the designs. I was like, man, this doesn't look right. So I'm going and changing them. I'll probably end up uploading my next short on Wednesday. I feel like Wednesday might be a good time, and then I'll have another video, an animation meme. Finally, I haven't made an animation meme forever. I'll have that video being done next week, so that'll be fun. I'm very excited for that. I really love how that animation meme turned out. It turned out very colorful, so I'm very excited. And so yeah, that's gonna be fun. Showing next week. And then I'll have working on another animatic. Got some more shorts. Got my lore video, of course. I can't forget my lore video. That's actually what I'm working on. I'm working on. This is for my lore video. Yeah, just, what's up with your hands, Maddie? Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess I'm just going for a more cartoony hand this time around. It doesn't have to look perfect, but I would like it to look at least a little correct. No, Rose is pretty ruthless. I mean, I do have her in another animatic, but it is a silly animatic. It is a silly one, because I think it's also fun to have, like, it's also fun to have silly moments with characters like Rose, honestly. She has so, like, there's such a gold mine of like, stuff I could make with Rose that isn't serious, but just, like, her being crazy and, like, funny. So, I definitely have a lot of ideas for her videos and, like, shorts about her. But she's very ruthless, you know? She's a very ruthless woman. I'm still putting her background together. Her backstory is not completely done yet. Hell, I was even still working on Ray's backstory up until recently. These backstories just take so long to fully integrate into the story. And with this being a lot of experimental stuff, a lot of things I'm not sure I'm going to keep yet, a lot of things could change over the course of however long I continue to do this for. You know, hopefully a long time. I want to do this for a long time. But forever, how long it takes, you see me fail on this arm 20 times? What is up with that? Oh my god. I'm gonna work on something else. I'm gonna work on another part, because I just feel like this is like just completely and utterly failing. Let me go ahead and redo parts of this sketch, because I think just going from the straight, the bottom, sometimes, you know what, sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want to, and that's fine, that's just how art is. Sometimes you just do things and they just don't look right, and so you gotta just redo them, start all over, do a clean slate. But yeah, I'm very excited to have Rose in more things. I definitely think she's very fun and crazy and chaotic, and just the kind of character to have sprinkle in a little bit of fun videos and also chaotic and scary videos as well. What you doing with that arm again, Maddie? Man, did I even draw? Do I even have any knowledge? How am I failing so much? Oh, the failure of this. It's okay. Some days I just, like, I already struggle with so many things, but some days I feel like I just cannot draw today, you know? Alright, that is already looking way better, and I think it's because I fixed everything else about it. Sometimes you just gotta go from ground up. Gotta ground up and fix everything. Oh, nothing wrong with that. Gotta keep doing it until you improve. Alright. It also would help if I use more references. I definitely need to use more references. That is something that every artist should do. I'm very excited for the animation meme coming up. It will have a couple of Zach frames, of course. It will have Zach in it a couple seconds, and then it's gonna have Ray. And as always, I love making videos with Ray. He's always been one of my favorite characters in Ghost Mask. He has so much depth to him, and he's one of my favorite characters to write lore for. Oh yeah, I have so much to say on these lasers. I have so much to say about these lasers, man. There's so much. There's so much I gotta plan. There's so much I gotta draw. I'm very excited for the lore video, but it will take a while. So I know you guys have been waiting on it. I definitely am excited, but I'm also very nervous because it's also going to take so long to explain everything. And I'm trying, as I'm writing the script, I'm trying to condense what I don't need to tell everyone yet and what I do. And because there's some things that you just don't need to know in the story. Some things are just not important right now. Like, I don't need to go over all the characters' birthdays right now. That's not really something important to the story right now. I'd rather lay out the world building aspects, the base of it, where everything, what are the cities, what is the world's called, stuff like that, and what's up with the lasers, what's up with all these lasers we've been hearing about, what's up with those, we've been hearing about these lasers, right? We gotta talk about the lasers. So I have part of my script dedicated to that, part of my script dedicated to phantoms and ghosts and specters and apparitions and what the difference between all of those is, or those are, excuse me. And so that's going to be very exciting. I'm very excited for this video. I am going to be putting a lot of work into it. It will be like I said, I'm going to try to condense it though, so it's not a super long video. I'm thinking like 5 minutes for the first one, and I am going to release more than one lore video. To start out, I'm probably going to start out small and then go from there and talk a little bit more in depth about things as I go along, and especially as my story develops. So yeah, as long as everything, as long as I'm keeping everything written down, which I've been making notes. I've been every stream I make notes too, in case I forget what I said, because it's very possible. It's very possible because there's just so much to my story that I say on stream, and I need it to all make sense and fit together. Yeah. I visualized it to be like a purple, like bluish a little bit, so that's actually really close. Like I said, I don't know what I'll end up making it ultimately in the end, but I did imagine it kind of purpley. That's actually kind of interesting. I guess I think of like I think of like a lot of like blue, green, purple colors a lot in my story now, because I wanted to make it more ghost-like, and I feel like a lot of like ghost colors tend to be more of the cool colors, and not really reds and green, or not reds and yellows as much. Even though I've been using reds and yellows a lot in like my coloring process, I haven't really been wanting to add it for ghost purposes. Like, I've been adding the outlines and stuff, and like the little teal outlines to show that they're ghosts, and the glowy outlines, and I think that helps a lot. And let me know if it does. If not, then I want to make more changes to the color schemes of things and make it look more like it's actually a story about ghosts and not about a bunch of humans that are supposedly called ghosts, Because then it wouldn't really make any sense if they don't really look like ghosts. There's got to be something that distinguishes them. And it doesn't even have to be something big, which is why I'm adding the outlines. I've made their mouths blue. I've made their, tongues blue. Their eyes glow in the dark. They have the little circles around their eyes and stuff like that. So that's kind of my goal with the coloring process of everything. And with the lasers, I kind of wanted it all to match together. So maybe like a teal purple even, I think would be kind of nice. I think that'd be kind of neato for the color scheme. I also imagine Zach's headquarters to be a lot of blue. I imagine it to be a lot of blue and green, dude. A lot of blue and green. So very excited. A lot of this stuff will take me forever too, because backgrounds are my nemesis. You know how I've never drawn a single background on stream? It's almost like I just genuinely hate drawing backgrounds. And I really do. But they're so important to my story that I'm like, man, I just gotta bite the bullet and just make a background. And so, background practice, definitely something I'm still working on. I'm still working on my characters, man. You see how much I've erased in this stream. I still have a lot of improvement that I want to do, and I am okay with that, because that is my goal, to improve and get better, and only get better. I don't want to get worse. I actually want to make a video about art regression, because I was looking at my art and I'm like, am I getting worse? Like, why do I feel like I can't draw anything anymore? And so, I kind of went into almost like a midlife crisis about my art, normal like Monday things, And so I ended up kind of starting to have ideas about that, like, a video about art regression. And, is it happening to me? Which it kind of feels like it does sometimes, but I think it's a normal part of the art process. You're not always going to stay at 100% of a skill on anything. You got to continue to practice. And I definitely don't practice enough. So part of me needs to practice more. And so that is going to be a goal of mine. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to continue practicing. Very excited to get better. And... What the heck is that? What is that? I think it's my cat. Freaked me out for a second. I was like, what is going on? And quickly draw a shirt just in case, like, I don't know, it looks weird. I promise it's just a drawing. Oh, they actually do get paid. They're like full-time workers. Yeah, they get paid. A lot of their money, comes from the people who volunteer, that they think they're doing, like, a good service by volunteering, but they're actually, like, setting themselves up to be basically experiments. So yes, they do get paid. It's like a job for them. So they absolutely get paid. They, even though Zach may have some questionable morals, considering what he did to Ray, they absolutely get paid. So don't worry about that. I don't know why I said don't worry about that. Like, my characters are gonna get, like, canceled for not following, like, quotas for paying workers, Like, no, it's fine, it's fine. But yes, they actually do get paid. They actually do, like, take it as an actual job. So, definitely very interesting. Give me just a moment. Alright, back. Okay, I'm back for real this time. Alright, sorry. Had a bit of an emergency, but that's okay. It's like, can you turn the show down, please? I'm scared about getting the copyrights. Please! But no, it's okay. It'll be okay. If YouTube takes this down, I'll be like, oh. Cranberries. I'll just edit the audio. Cranberries. That's gonna be a new explicitive, I guess, because I don't really like to cuss on stream very much. I just try to keep it clean. But yeah, cranberries. It's like something like your grandpa would say. Cranberries. I kind of like that. The experiments can be as simple as getting blasted with a laser through, like, your face, or like a little cut. So unfortunately, it just really depends on the level of power of the laser they're using. Some people just get really the short end of the stick and they end up getting a lot of damage, versus some people who end up getting a lot, like, basically getting like a slap on the wrist. Like, they just get like a little cut and they have that scar forever, because remember, the only thing that can destroy a soul body of a ghost is a laser. Is a laser powerful enough to do so? So that's the only thing that can destroy, like, a ghost body. And even destroy part of their soul. It's very, very rare, but part of your soul can get destroyed, and your body will have immense issues if that happens. Your whole soul body. It depends on your soul being intact. Everything about you, your ghost powers, how your soul body looks, everything. And you'll get to see it later in the story what damage to someone's soul does. And it's not good. I'll say that. It's not pretty. It's not a pretty story whatsoever. It's very bad. And so it's why it's so important for ghosts to stick together and, do their best to research about Souls of Paradise before they end up joining an organization like that or end up supporting it, because Some ghosts go into it desperate for money because they pay you like $10,000 to get tested on, except for the fact that you also have to pay them like a sum of like $2,000 up front. And so you basically get like $8,000 back. But, you know, it's only if you don't like have your entire body destroyed, you know, stuff like that. So it's a very schemy business. But Zach is not the only person involved in why it's so bad. There are other factors involved. Because a lot of it can make Zach look worse, but definitely not all of Zach's doing, for sure. Could be Rose, I don't know. it could be her, I don't know. Crazy, she's crazy. But yeah. Oh yeah, it's basically a fate worse than death, literally, because, you know, normal death would just be, oh, I'm a ghost forever. Now this death is like, oh my gosh, I'm a ghost without a soul body. I literally am just a soul, I'm just a spirit, I have nothing to conquer now. Or I have, like, nothing, like, no body to have, like, it would be a fate worse than death. It would be, like, basically a stereotypical ghost, where a lot of people assume that the spirits, you can't see them, and they can't grab anything. So, like, in a lot of shows, it just depends on the lore, and it depends on how their ghosts are. Like, in Danny Phantom, Ghost, I think ghosts can grab objects and stuff. Or, like, in, the Ghost of Molly McGee, I like that show, it's super cute. I'm pretty sure the ghost, I can't remember his name, Scratch? Is it Scratch? He can grab stuff, I'm pretty sure. So, it just depends. I mean, like, some are more like a spirit, and some are more like a cartoon version of a ghost, where it's kind of like all the rules are on the table. So, you know, it's kind of just whatever. And so I try to make strict rules, though, so it's easier to follow, because it can be really confusing to have, like, it would be like a vampire, like, not being allergic to garlic or something. Like, that's a pretty big lore change that you would definitely need to make, or address to your audience as soon as possible, so they're not confused. Like, maybe it was actually onions, and the entire time everyone thought it was garlic, but it was actually onions. That would be kind of a funny twist, you know what I mean? But it doesn't, I mean, I would say it would have to make sense, but it depends on what your version of making sense is. I mean, you can basically make anything in a story make sense as long as you have enough, like, explanation for it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, if, like, people could only walk on ceilings and not floors. Like, I'm sure you could come up with a reason why in your story the world is basically, like, upside down all the time. Like, there's plenty of ways to explain that. Like a different force of different than gravity called anti-gravity, but it's not actually anti-gravity, it's just literally the opposite gravity. Or, like, not the opposite gravity. You know what I mean? Like, it pushes you up instead down, so the whole world has to be a dome. I don't know. You could do anything you want. And so, with my story, I do my best to make it as rational as possible without it making zero sense. Which is hard. Because it's hard for something to be rational when it's a fictional story to begin with very many fictitious objects and fictitious ideas. Like an afterlife, you know, for a lot of people, you know, if you believe in it, if it exists, those, you know, none of us know. I would hope there is, but truly, you can't know until you die. So it's kind of an unknown thing. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily fictional, it's just more so it's an unknown. I would say my version of Afterlife could be considered a fictional because I don't think it's an entire planet, really. I think that would be kind of a stretch for something like that in our universe, but I have no idea, dude. No idea. So I try to stay, you know, I don't want to call my story completely fictitious because an afterlife absolutely 100% could exist, and I really hope it does because I would really love to go to an afterlife someday. I think that'd be beautiful. But it's just one of those things where aspects of it may not be 100%, you know what I mean? Let me read. Oh my gosh. Oh, it could do more than that. It could blow up the whole HQ. If it malfunctioned, it has some of the lasers have a lot of power, and it's powered by, you know, electricity. Some of it's powered by, like, soul power. Like, they have workers constantly there switching out shifts because they're using their own soul power to power it, and that becomes extremely exhausting. They can only have certain ghosts do that, like phantoms. They only have a few phantoms working for them, but they do have phantom workers that have basically an unlimited amount of power compared to, like, a normal ghost or apparition. But yeah, it definitely could happen. The laser stuff, it's very scary. It's very intense. It's very, it's a laser. But it's also, like, powered with such a large amount of energy that at any moment it could explode. But luckily, the ghosts do keep it under control for the most part. They also have watchers who just constantly watch and observe the laser and make sure nothing happens, make sure all the doohickeys are plugged in, and, make sure everything's all good and stuff. But yeah. Definitely a fun thing to talk about. I love the lasers. I just need to figure out how I'm going to make them, look. I want to illustrate them for the lore video coming up. I don't know when that video is going to come out. It's going to be a while for sure, but I'm very excited to make it because I think it's going to be a very fun video. But I also know it's going to take me a long time, so a little nervous, but it's all good. No, they're workers. They're workers. They're not doing it unwillingly. They're 100% workers. Basically, though, a lot of people. No, I'm sorry. I only speak English. I do apologize. But unfortunately, a lot of people in Souls of Paradise, they or not unfortunately, but they are paid. They are paid workers. Some of them are volunteers, like I said, but they're not working without pay. Even the volunteers get money for volunteering. So yeah, definitely a thing. I'm really sorry, by the way. I don't speak Portuguese. I only speak English and really small bit of Spanish. Really, such a minuscule amount. It's not even. It's very small. The amount of Spanish I can even learn. So yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah. Hold on a second. Stretch out my hand because artist hand stretches are very important, but unfortunately I don't do them enough. Always stretch out your hands though. Gotta take care of them. My biggest fear is something happening in my hand, and I always worry about that. I always get really paranoid if something's gonna happen to my hand someday, and then I won't be able to draw anymore, and that's like my biggest fear in the world. Luckily writing is still a passion of mine, so at least I could write, or I could write with my left hand. Or I could, do voice to audio, stuff like that. But I don't know where that came from. That was a completely random point for nothing. See, my scripted videos are going to be so much better than my streams. I'm so excited. I'm actually writing a script. I'm actually writing a script for this video, the lore video. I'm not going to do it like this, where I'm just, offhand talking. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I don't have enough, improv in me, Yeah, no, definitely not against their will. If, once people leave, they do leave, they get paychecks, they do get lives outside of Souls of Paradise. They may have to work longer hours, depending on which one they are, but they're already told that. They're like, hey, you may have to work 32 hours at that point. Are you okay with that? And they're like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And they're like, okay, good. We'll pay you 100 shadows the hour. That's really good money. And like I said, a lot of their money comes from volunteers who they mislead, of course, because, how else are they going to get volunteers? If you told someone, I'm going to destroy your whole afterlife, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, man, that sounds like a fun time. Most people are going to be like, what are you talking about? That it doesn't even seem likely. It doesn't even seem reasonable. So yeah. Definitely paid work, but there is always going to be misleading people. I really love how these eyes turned out, by the way. I really love how these eyes look. I actually really enjoy that style. Which is, my own style. Sorry, not to give, myself that much of a pat on the back. I mean, they're eyes, they're fine, but, I like it. I like how they came out. The only bad thing is this eye looks really big, and I'm trying to, make it look perspective, but it looks a little off, so I'm still working on making that good. This is supposed to be me, by the way. Oh, it's okay, man. My spelling used to be so good. My spelling is terrible now. I have to type things so many times into Google now. I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel like I'm losing it, man. I can't type for my life anymore. I used to be, number one in the spelling bees and stuff, Or the fake spelling bees. I never went to a real one. I was always too nervous. But we went, did fake spelling bees. I was always, top. And now I'm like, man, Oh, how do I spell onomatopoeia? How do I spell the word criteria? I couldn't spell the word receive the other day. The word receive. I felt really sad. It was like a low point. I was like, man, I used to spell so good. What has the world become? But yeah, I think getting older, especially after I like got, sick a couple times, and there's a lot of factors. Stress. I went through a lot of stress in these last few years, and I think a lot of that affects memory really poorly. A lot of stress from the pandemic, stuff like that. It was really bad, and I think a lot of that really affected my memory, affected my mom's memory. My mom's told me her memory's been a lot more worse, and I feel really bad for her, and hope her memory doesn't continue to get worse. I really hope it's just the fact that she's gone through stress and not something like dementia or something, because that's like, oh my god, that is like my biggest fear in the whole world, is like my parents getting dementia. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so sad to think about, but like, oh my gosh, stuff like that really scares me. I'm telling you guys, this is why I'm gonna have a scripted video. I just went off the handle again for like the 20th time. But I hope you like my ramblings, because it happens a lot on stream. Oh my gosh. It's okay. I mean, I like rambling. I think it's fun. It's just like, I just don't want to annoy people. Like, oh my god, get on with it, lady. You've talked about like socks for 20 minutes. Like, stuff like that. Which is entirely possible. It's entirely possible. But yeah, definitely. Budget cuts. Oh my gosh. Instead of writing Souls of Paradise on the signs, they just write like Paradise. And like it's misspelled. They don't even have enough budget to spell the sign right. Oh my gosh. They did start out with no budget, so people did have to work for a much lower wage at first until they could get their quote-unquote business/organization off. They claim to be a business, but we all know that's not really what they are. Oh man, I gotta like move the screen so I can actually see what's going on. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That probably just messed with my audio. No! I was checking on my stream on YouTube and I clicked on it and I didn't really, I didn't have my headphone in, so I didn't put two and two together that was playing. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That probably just like confused everyone. Like, what is this? What is happening? Why is your stream doing this again? Oh my gosh. Maybe one day I will be less awkward on stream. One could only dream. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Sell more laser machines. Oh no, oh man, if they try to sell those things, dude, no one's gonna buy them. Like, they're gonna be like, what do you mean laser machine? I'm not gonna give you like $1,000. They're gonna have to charge them so much money. They're gonna get like no profit. They'll have to make money off of volunteering. I don't know if they could really sell those lasers. Like, people take one look at them and be like, I can buy a laser pointer at the store. What are you talking about? People, once again, ghosts being oblivious that anything bad could happen to them. Because a lot of ghosts, like I said, tend to have a lot more courage when they die because, they don't really have anything to worry about anymore. They died, so they don't necessarily have any qualms about the world. They're like, well, I'm not, what's the worst thing that could happen to me? I die? Well, who cares? I'm already dead. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to get worse from here. So, yeah, it is what it is. For sure. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for wrapping it up so quickly. I just looked at the time, and I'm gonna have finals this week, and so I'm gonna be studying a lot for school. I will try to continue working on videos, but my videos will definitely slow down because of school. Once I'm out of school, though, I'm going to be working more, but I'll also have more free time. Like, I'll still have more free time because the amount of work you have to do for school sometimes. My goodness. But thank you all for coming to yet another live stream. And thank you for putting up with my weirdness and my really bad audio issues sometimes. Just casually had my live stream on the same tab as my music. So not only did you hear my music and my voice, but you heard my stream's music and my stream's voice, like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I am so silly. Maybe after, like, the 100th stream, you start to get, like, a little bit better, but... They had an eye patch. Eye patch. Oh, he could have been. I don't remember drawing him, though. I don't remember putting him in a video. What video was that? Wait, what video did you see him in? I'm confused. Did I even show everyone that character yet? What video was that? No, I'm actually a little confused now. I'm a little kerfuddled. Eye patch. Eye patch? He was in the Months' characters. I'm having such a hard time figuring out who you're talking about. From Twitter. Oh my gosh, from my Twitter? Oh, bro. I haven't been on my Twitter and like I uploaded I think I uploaded a couple days ago and then I deleted Twitter off my phone because I wasn't gonna use it anymore. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Let me pull up my Twitter real quick. Let me see. Surprised if I even have any followers left on Twitter. Jesus. Oh my gosh. What's his characters? A headband. Okay, now I feel like I'm getting like. I feel like I almost know who you're talking about, but like I'm still so. I'm sorry. Like I feel like I'm so silly right now. Like I should know my own characters by now. Let me see. What? Red headband. Yeah, I would... depending on how long ago it was. I think I know what you're talking about. I just can't find it. How long ago was that? That must have been forever ago. I'm sorry, I should know my own characters, but I have so many characters that when I do upload a character that's not a common one, I'm like, it's not nearly as like common for me to see them. I'm gonna look for that later. I'm gonna go ahead and look for that later, but it's very possible that is the spy character. But I don't remember drawing him and uploading him on Twitter though. I'm gonna have to look through that and I will update you guys on it and like go through that because I feel like I'm like so confused right now. Like I feel like I should know my own characters, right? But like there's a couple characters that I draw. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. That I draw like once and kind of like lay them out there and then I don't get back to them for a long time, so I kind of tend to forget. Unfortunately, I'm very forgetful of my own characters sometimes. Not my main characters, though. My main boys are fine, you know. Like, I'll always remember Ray, you know, and Zach and Isaac, but... Yeah, this is a tough cookie. This is a tough cookie indeed. I will have to look for that character you're talking about and figure out what happened there. I also have been changing designs a lot, so it could have been potentially a mistake. Like, either a mistake or it was an older drawing. I will look through that. I will look through that and see what I can find, and see what character you're talking about because I should know this, but I'm so confused. It's probably like, oh my gosh, it's probably like right on the tip of my tongue, but like I don't know. It could have been my spy character for sure. It could have been him. It's very possible. I've only drawn him a couple times. His design is not. It's a work in progress still. His design isn't even finalized, but yeah. Yeah, that definitely sounds like my spy character. Okay, if he had an eye patch, yeah, that I think 100% that's him. So yeah, I'll find that exact picture of him that I drew. It's been so long though since I drawn him. So yeah, I'll find that exact picture though, and I'll update you on it and I'll probably update his character design too. That way, I have like I can actually remember the design because it's so bad. How can I not remember my own characters? But yes, I believe that is a spy character. I can't think of who else it could be. I only have 2 characters that don't have eyes, so or that are missing one of their eyes, and one of them is Zach. So I'm pretty sure it's him. It's the spy character. But yeah, thank you for letting me know about that. I will look into that and go ahead and end the stream. Go ahead and wrap it up. Gosh, looking at my Twitter is depressing. My engagement plummeted months ago. So I just don't go on there because it just makes me sad. And so I try not to because, I don't want to make myself sad for no reason, It's a good to take a break from social media. I can't let it affect me that much. It's a bad thing when you let social media affect you too much. So I kind of just ended up leaving Twitter. And I didn't tell anyone. And if for anyone who follows me on Twitter, I'm sorry. I probably won't post there for a long time. Once I actually do post there again, it'll probably be for something unrelated to my story. I'll probably just leave it there for fan art or something because it's just Twitter was kind of ruining my mental health for a while, so I just decided to take a extended hiatus and not tell anyone this time because I feel like this way I'm I feel like I guess I could make a sense of it. I don't want people to worry about me, but sometimes I think you just notice people stop using stuff, and I feel like people will know exactly what why I'm leaving for a while. But yeah, I'll look into that. I will for sure look into that. I went on a Twitter spree there, trying to figure out my own stuff. I was going through all my art output. Some of it, half of it, I don't even remember uploading. So if that tells you how bad my memories become, hold on. Female character. Before Zach, huh? Yeah, anyway, I'll look that up later. I got you mean Amelia? Oh, I think you're talking about Amelia. I love Amelia. She's one of my favorite characters. I haven't drawn her in a while. I haven't drawn her in forever. She was in the Trypophobia meme. She works with she works with Justin. She works with Justin at the smoothie shack they run together. Justin's the guy with the green hair right after her, I think, or right after. Yeah, Amelia. I love Amelia. That's her name, Amelia. Or yeah, she comes. It's Justin, and then Amelia comes right after. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I was looking at it, I was wait, she doesn't have a headband. I realized you were talking about something completely different. I was she doesn't have an eye patch. But yeah, that's Amelia. She runs she's a baker for Justin's Smoothie Shack. And so he makes smoothies, he makes milkshakes, and then he makes muffins and stuff. So yeah, those are 2 characters that have a really fun friendship. They're fun to write. I have some fan art with them, baking cakes together. And so, yeah, those characters are fun. Very minor characters, of course, though. In the story, they're really not there for a major purpose. They're just fun little characters. Ghosts that like to bake. But yeah, I was so confused. I thought you were related back to the eye patch. I was wait, he doesn't have an eye patch, does he? I don't think I gave him an eye patch, but Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I gotta wrap up this stream. I made myself look so stupid today, but it's okay, because I had fun. I hope you all had fun watching with me as I struggled to know my own characters. It's okay. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you next Monday. If my finals don't get in the way, if they do, I may have to postpone the stream, just a quick warning. But after that, there will be no reason to postpone the stream. So yeah, I will see you guys next Monday, and I'll look up my own lore about my own characters that I should already know. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. See you later.